The voice of sharing, DurianASEAN.
Hi, welcome to the show Dealing with Difficult Issue with me, Junsen, and joining me here in the studios today is three very interesting person. We have Sherab, Wong, speaker and trainer of Eastern and Western Metaphysics, translator and student of Tibetan Buddhism. We have Kong Kin Yun, also known as Kong, a certified NLP trainer and hypnotist, author of 9 books on topics of persuasion, personal speaker, former cult believer, TV expert on debunking supernatural phenomenon. And of course, today we have a very special person, Siti Kassim, lawyer and human rights activist. Welcome to the studios and welcome to the show. Well, this show, we're going to be talking about religion issues, like any other major religions in the world. Buddhism has also its fair share of cults, and whether the leader is called the living Buddha, Sifu, or Bhante, as long as there's a tendency to use and abuse the Dharma for personal gain, such as in getting followers to feed on the leader's ego or eccentricity. And this may actually cause emotional, physical, and financial harm, and that may be termed as a cult. Am I right? All right, so the thing is, let's just start off with the first question. Sherab and Kong, they did mention in the previous shows that the when it comes to cult, it's usually about the victims, not so much about the religion itself, but it's mostly on the victims. And in fact, some of them, they do not, the victims themselves, they do not dare to come out and speak in public for the reason of sometimes being embarrassed, or they are afraid that the cult leader, like what Kong was saying, that they have some kind of magical power.
Yeah, they believe they have supernatural psychic attack or something. Some people do believe those kind of things. Yeah.
But when it comes to that, how do we actually help these people when they are actually afraid? Now, Siti, maybe you can share with us in terms of in terms of the law. How can we actually help these people if they don't dare to speak up, and we know about it?
When you say these people are the people who are being controlled by these controlling leaders or the cult leaders, is that what you mean?
The victims themselves.
Really, I mean, honestly, if they are under control, they are not. Either they are in fear to speak up, or they don't even realize they are being controlled. To me, then it will be hard to get these people to seek control for them, to seek help for themselves. But if you see, for example, like your neighbors or anyone in need of help, you feel that that person is being abused, for example, or you feel that something is not right, because this is actually pure common sense. You can actually see whether a situation is right or not. When a husband beating out a wife in public, you know that it's wrong, and as a good, decent human being, you should interfere, and you should actually report to the authorities if you see your neighbors being abused by anyone. So that I think that everyone must have this attitude of is not to be concerned about another human being or even animals, not just saying, I shouldn't mind people's business. I should mind my own business. That is wrong, actually. So for victims of any kind of situation, whether it's a cult, kind of situation, or being abused by parents, or being
even
abused.
on the social issues itself, not just religion itself.
Not just religion. If you feel that person is not behaving normal and always looking in fear, let's say malnourished, you can see something is not right, then, there is no harm in reporting it to the authorities.
But when it comes to
I think I also want, I'm actually curious about how people should go about doing that, because we have a lawyer in the house. I need to ask. So if I saw my neighbors, she has some bruise, and then we hear some yelling and all that, and then if I fear that she could be abused, so I go to the police station, and what do? I say
Yeah, you just lodge a police report.
Okay.
And you believe, just say that I believe, because you are not sure. Unless you are pretty sure
Okay.
that the person has been abused,
Okay.
then you write in your report that you say that I believe
I
that
saw them,
so and
I
so and
saw
so.
them hit.
Yeah.
Okay.
And, just write what you seen and what you heard.
Okay,
You cannot say hearsay. Yeah? Hearsay is already another party telling you,
Oh, okay.
and you don't know whether that person is telling the truth or not.
Okay.
So always make a report based on your knowledge.
So the first person report, like
Correct.
I see or I heard.
First knowledge.
Oh, okay.
Yes,
Okay.
because otherwise it becomes hearsay, and hearsay evidence,
Okay.
won't stand
Well,
much.
what if they say when you report and it may not be true? What will happen after that?
That's why you say I believe.
I believe.
Okay.
You
okay.
know.
That's the key word, huh?
Yeah, I say.
There's a
I
Martin Luther King's word, right? I believe.
Yeah. I believe means that it's not. You are not saying for sure.
Okay,
like
okay.
you don't say like I.
You don't
believe,
make a fake report, lah. I mean,
Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
You are just, you can put down there you are writing this as a concerned neighbor.
Okay. Okay.
And that you want the police to investigate.
Okay.
If there's nothing, untoward towards it, that's fine.
All right.
But you want to ensure that nothing more serious will happen.
Okay.
So is it safe that for cult victims, the first thing we need to do to help them is to make a report to the authority? Am I
Yes,
right to say so?
anyone can make a police report.
But do we have like in Malaysia now? We come to a new era of a new Malaysia. Right? Do you have confidence towards the police action in dealing with the case? Like according to your own experience,
see, this is the
we
thing.
have a confidence issue.
Yes, I know.
Even we make a report,
But
and
believe
then,
you me, I have been working with the police many times
Okay.
before, and not all of them are rotten apples.
Okay.
Yeah.
I must say that, in fact, I think there are more good policemen
Than
than
the
bad
bad ones,
policemen.
uh-huh.
So this is why I hope the new government, the new IGP, will
Mm-hmm.
weed out all these little Napoleons who feel that they own the police force. They can actually do what they like. So don't be fearful of
Okay.
the police. There are many good policemen, and women as well. We just need to, if they don't actually do it properly, you can always lodge a complaint against them. This is why we are calling for the IPCMC to be established, but as I said, don't be disheartened by how the police treated me, because at the end of the day, it's not all of them are bad. I can say that I would say most of them are good.
Okay,
people.
That's good.
Yeah,
That's
so-
good news. Yeah.
So what if they say like the cult member themselves, they've been harassed by maybe gangsters and so on? What are the steps they should do? Because they may be afraid, and if I lodge a report, for example, and what if these people know that I lodge a report and they harm me? Is there
Yeah.
anything that we can actually protect?
Nothing is black and white, right? I mean, the truth is that nobody can promise you the world or
Yeah,
the
yeah.
heaven that you are going to be safe. Nobody can do that unless you're God lah, right?
Okay.
But the thing is, I think you need to do the right thing for yourself. For example, if you say that they will be in fear that these people, the gangster will attack them, then take precaution. For example, I will give myself as an example. Now, I've been attacked a lot online, or even messages I get. Things they want to do to me. Like they want to kill me. They want to do a lot of things you no matter how strong you are, you will feel still that what if one day but it can't stop me from continue to live, but I take extra precaution, meaning that I will not tell the world where I am, until I've left the place. So I don't, I try not to be in one place, like my schedule is moving around all the time. It's not
So
really.
you don't go to the same restaurant like every Friday or every
No, I
same
don't.
time and all that?
Yeah, no, I don't.
Every
do it.
Wednesday. Every Wednesday.
Yeah, luckily, I don't. Actually, in my
okay.
normal life, also, it's not my life. My style to be always Friday this,
Six,
Oh,
Thursday
okay,
this. No,
okay,
it's not like that.
okay.
But we cannot live in fear. If you think that you want a better future, you need to take the risk. You need to take the risk, but you must take calculated risk.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not just But if you continue to live in fear and not doing the right thing by lodging a police report or complain about it, now think about it. If you don't buy the lottery, would you win a lottery? I mean, you cannot win a lottery if you don't buy the ticket, right? So the same, if you don't report, you don't take action on it, and nothing will happen. Your life is going to be in fear for the rest of your life. You live in fear, or forever and ever. That's no way of living. I mean, you need to do something. And then you try your best to protect yourself. And if anything happen, it's already, meant to be like that, I believe. If you try your best already to protect yourself and still shit happens. So what can you do? Even someone who just walk and then drop dead, no one can tell how we die. So just believe in whatever will happen. But take precaution, that's all. Sometimes it's only yourself fearing more than other things. Actually, it's not that bad, but you feel like you think that it's going to be really bad, so we need to overcome that fear.
I think fear is also the major feeling of the cult's victim.
Yeah, usually the cult leaders, they like to incite fear.
Yes.
It's as if they know everything and to
Yes.
suppress their followers.
Yes.
Yep, this is a classic control, attitude or mechanism used by strong characters.
Strong leader.
For example, I can tell you like orang asli, they are in a way they are not. We don't call the situation as cultish, but
It's quite similar, I would say.
I don't know what it's called, but I will
quite
describe
similar, I would
how
say,
they are living in fear with regards to the authorities. Now they actually even call Jakwa, the Jabatan Kemajuan Orang Asli, as their father. It's their father that actually helped them to be better in their life. So they rely so much, to this Jakwa body. And they are so fearful if they don't, agree with Jakwa or support Jakwa, they will lose their, things that
The
been given
benefits
by
or
the
the things that we
government to
get.
them. So I don't know whether that is cultish,
This
but
is also more like Stockholm syndrome. You begin to like the person who harm you, especially in cult issue. Like you call Jakwa like father, bapa, right?
Yeah.
So they begin to like associate their liking feeling with that authority.
They love.
So
they
this
love
is basically
Jakwa.
the Stockholm
Not
syndrome.
now, not now, of course. I'm
Yeah.
talking about the old days.
Okay.
When Jakwa is complete control.
True.
Before we actually, came into the picture to enlighten them about their rights.
Yeah.
But still, there are some orang asli still in awe of Jakwa.
Yeah.
They still feel Jakwa is very strong and they are in need of Jakwa, even though they don't need, but
Yes,
they
true.
feel that Jakwa really helps them a lot, and all that, really give them hope to live. So this is something that what the Orang Asli went through before, but now majority of them are more educated and they know about their rights more, and so they don't. They feel that Jakwa is irrelevant. In fact, they are very upset. This enlightened Orang Asli, they are quite upset with how Jakwa is trying to control their lives.
I think I agree with Gong says our last show. He said that when we are well informed,
Yeah,
more
when
educated,
you're well informed.
then that's the way to free yourself from the limitation imposed by the cult.
Yeah,
cult leaders,
education plays a very important role, I feel.
Yes, but
True.
the thing is,
Then how about education now? We talk about
education
education system
right?
in Malaysia.
Sometimes see, I do believe, I don't know much about the cult, but
Yeah.
I think this cultish, behavior more on the ability of the leader to say things in a very convincing way, so much so the people that hearing him or her will believe it, and really think that, that it will.
Yeah.
But so it's very much to like religion, religious lah. Okay, so, shall I say? Any kind of religion. It can be Islam, it can be Buddhist. Okay, Buddhist is not a religion actually; it's a way of life.
Yeah.
But Christian, you see a lot of Christian.
But when it comes
preachers.
ism, then it becomes religion.
Yeah. Okay, Buddhism.
Yeah,
Okay, Islam.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
anyway, I do believe even amongst the Muslims, whether it is cultish or not, but the way they are preaching, sometimes you see them, like really shouting and screaming, showing, and then these people actually believe it, like, wow, whatever this ustad say may be true.
Gospel,
Gospel truth, I mean, they don't even know whether this ustad is lying or not, because they don't go back and check the verses that they cited. For example, Zakir Naik. I go into Zakir Naik
sure.
immediately because he is a prime example of reciting a lot of verses, but onto the a lot
Quran
of
Sunnah.
what's the word? Is it
Unverified.
yeah, no, these people who are listening to him, they, like when you hear, wow,
Bombastic kind of words, yeah.
Because he's
he's
charismatic
so good,
and,
blah.
yeah.
But he's been proven. A lot of people have proven that he actually lied on when he actually talked about the verses and all that. So, but of course, people still worship him. Because he has the charisma. He can talk, he can really relate to the public, to the people who listen to him. And these are the characteristic of people who use their ability, in PR skills, basically, that
Okay.
he must have a very good PR skills in order to convince that, he is such a great preacher. But as I said, a lot of people fall for it. If they really listen and check on the things that he has said, many people has disproved him. But still, the followers, they are willing to fight and argue, for him. Really, seriously. And
Does he has a great following here? I mean,
yeah, I think so.
is here?
Yeah, they love Zakir Naik, because they think that, he speaks how beautiful Islam is in comparison
And he
to
can
other
convert you
religion.
instantly on the spot. They can convert you.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
people have said about that being staged, isn't it?
Yeah.
But of course, the Muslims want to believe that is truth, they want, like all other people, they want to see their religion is the best. And that's fine, that's okay.
Yeah.
But the fact is, Zakir Naik is a fugitive. He's wanted in India, and I think we should send him back. Okay, let him clear himself with the Indian government. Let him answer whatever the the allegation against him, the charge against him.
Yep.
Then once he's clear, he's most welcome to come back here. I'm not saying that we should stop people from coming to give their views, but first, we have thousands of preachers in this country. Lots of them. A lot of them are jokers anyway.
Yeah.
So, to me, but in a sense, if we respect freedom of people to express themselves, we should allow him
he should
also.
be given the rights. I mean, as same as everyone.
Correct. That's fine.
Just same as
No
everyone.
problem.
Yeah.
But go and settle your issue first
Yeah.
with India. Why do you run from India? You have to go back and answer.
And we has the right to question his behavior and speech as well.
Yes,
As
of
a
course.
nation,
Yeah. When you give him the right to give a speech to the public, we have the right to question him as well.
Yeah,
He's not God,
And to verify the things that he say as well.
Of course,
Yeah,
yeah.
I
Just
find it strange. Like we have there's a big contrast here. You have figure like Zakir Naik, who is can consider extreme, extreme. Who try to convert people to Islam and all this thing in extreme behavior. Then we have another figure. I like her quite a lot. Isha Majid. She's quite a very vocal scholar of Islam. And we banned her from coming in. Even I cannot even read her books here. I tried to go to Kinokuniya to book. Her book was banned. We cannot buy her any of her books here. So she's maybe because she's a woman, I don't know, maybe she's too vocal. And he speak about Islam in different way, that is not so mainstream. I don't know, but I think we should ban her from.
Well, this is it. I mean, the previous government,
Yes.
they seem to think only a certain view of Islam should be allowed in Malaysia.
Okay.
This is a major problem because I, for example, do not agree with a lot of the things that being shown or displayed by our religious people, or the things they put. It's just that, belief is a very personal thing, right? I don't agree that people should be policing beliefs, This is something, as long I do no harm to others and no harm to properties, why should I be subjected to this moral or belief policing? Just like Anis being called, the girl that I was looking after or still looking after or helping rather. Or my client, everything one
main concern now.
Yeah. I mean, I'm the lawyer. I'm also like as if like her mother. Well, not really.
Caretaker also,
just advising her. Things like that. But she's been called for her akidah. About lack of faith or about her faith. How can anyone being questioned?
I mean, you cannot force someone to love you.
Exactly. This is the thing.
I mean, even Akidah also, if you want to question, it's something between you and your God or your divinity. Who are you? Who are you to question?
Well, this is it. And so the religious. I'm talking about the Muslim religious authorities, They seem to think that they have total control on our body and on our mind, this is what I feel, because you are constantly being like, like for example, not many now you see Malay women not wearing tudung, So I always say with my friends who don't wear tudung, I also have tudung friends. The one not wearing tudung, we are like, what's the word? Difficult to find now,
It's a rarity.
Yeah, it's a rarity now to see Malay women not wearing tudung.
Do you have a statistic of that? Is it really a reality? I mean, rare?
You can
Quite
just...
rare.
I mean, I remember when I was a kid, I can see in the kampong, Malay women who just put the sarong, just wrap themselves. We can see the shoulders. I mean, we are okay about that. I mean,
you don't get excited, right?
No, I don't get excited.
This is the thing.
Okay, but I mean, I haven't seen. I mean, I cannot see it anymore now. I mean, almost.
I don't know now whether they still have, but I grew up in Kelantan,
Yeah, going to the Asli.
I always see the Asli. There is, still is, maybe. Tepi sungai, they mandi.
The Asli, of course, in the interior, They still, I mean, to be honest, my last trip, you see, the Asli women, once they know you very well, they are so used to you, they will be very, very relaxed about it. They will start exposing their breasts, So that day I was in the river, and I we are all mandila, bathing in the river. Some women are washing, and then one lady, I know her a long time, been into the village many times, and then she just take off her t-shirt, and then she's like bare breast, like. I'm like, I've never seen it, I mean, never seen the Aslis go bare breast on me.
That means she trusts you, actually.
Yeah, she trusts me because I've been there many times. I got that, like really, that's the first time an Asli woman went bare breast on me, like showering like nothing, and she was like, like very cool, and like, I feel shy, and but that's how. Where were we? We're talking about what just now?
I think about Islam. I think you talk about Islam and the
Yeah,
freedom,
this
Tudong,
the tudong,
yeah, we
the
were talking about
openness.
the tudong.
yeah, I mean,
We are
this
allowed.
is my worry about Malaysia. As I said, this there's nothing wrong. If there is the correct Islamization being imposed or introduced to the Malays, meaning that they are like countries like the Morocco, even Tunisia. We can actually use as example, used to be Turkey as well, but with Erdogan coming in, I mean, we know he's an Islamist. There's nothing wrong being an Islamist, actually, to be honest. But it's when you try to impose others, then I call them Islamofascists, because only fascists force others, just like Hitler, and all that during the Nazi times, they force others, to be on their side and view. So there is nothing wrong being Islamist. There are many Islamists or the religious people I've met, and they are okay, I mean, they understand that, one's faith is one's
Personal, very personal things.
and all that. And there are many ustads I've met, and they can relate. I can relate to them. I mean, so it's not all, but I think in Malaysia it's because there is an injection of politics into being a religious
Country,
no, not country, the religious teacher. The more crazy the things you say, the more the old government used to like it, right? So it seems like
It's a mixture between politics and religion
it's
now.
being mixed.
It's mixed,
That's why no more pure,
I think we should send a good message to our friend Dr. Mujahid Yusof Rawah, who has just become the Minister of Religious Affairs in Prime Minister Department. I mean, we want to have for this new Malaysia. I think we need to have a more open space, for religion, not only Islam but for other religion as well. I hope he's listening.
Mujahid. Yes, I know. He's a nice guy. We have crossed paths a few times.
Open-minded.
I'm not sure about being open-minded. I can't say that because he has his beliefs. But I'm sure he will accept others as well. It's just that I hope he understands that when it comes to religious issues, religious belief, it is very personal. One's interpretation can be different from another. And so as long as that one person do not harm anyone, do not try to become a cult leader, do not try to influence others.
Your belief on others.
I mean, that person is just minding their own business, doing whatever they want. I don't think one should be disturbed, to be honest. Like I go back to this Anis, just because one person complained about her, which is the mother, even though it is her mother, she still has no right over her body. She is 24 years old. And the fact is that questioning her Aqidah, complaining to a religious authority, just like that, the religious authority summoned her to explain her Aqidah. Who are they to actually explain one's Aqidah? They are not God. They are not to set what is one's Aqidah. This is something I think our religious minister must look into, that any kind of this behavior will actually make it look bad for the religion. It's not actually showing anything good about the religion. It's about controlling the people. If we say this type of behavior is cultish, they will get upset. But this is one of the characteristic of isn't it?
I would say so. It's like you use fear, you use policing, you use threats. You use a lot of threats, and then when and then that will actually force the person. Like sometimes you force it out of the family and all that.
Yeah.
So it's I would say that's cultish.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. So, but if we say that, they will get upset. They say, "Oh, we are no cult," but their behavior is like a cult. The way they control the Muslims, that you don't follow this certain view of Islam, their view of Islam, then they will send you to a rehabilitation center.
This is just like from the science fiction.
Yeah, it's a
In
fact.
some way,
I know people
I
who
know,
have
I
been
know.
sent to rehabilitation center. And these poor people have no idea what to do.
Okay.
And I feel really, like I actually stood outside one rehabilitation center with the ex-husband of that girl. Just because the parent complained about they are married, but the parents complain terus masuk itu rehabilitation center. The moment they are in there, there's no way you can reach them and reach out to them.
I mean,
it's like a prison,
It's I don't want to say this, I mean, on record, but it sounds like the start with the G and in the Nazi as a group.
Yeah.
They start with a G.
Yeah.
Guess something.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, we are not stating fables here. These are facts. Things happened before.
It's a fact.
I'm talking
It's not
about
a matter of opinion, but it's a fact. Yeah.
It's a fact. Things that happen.
Okay.
So this is my concern, which a lot of people, to be honest, there are a lot of Muslims like me who feel that, they are in fear, to be honest, to talk about what they see as their faith, as their religion. It's not anything bad about Islam. It's a beautiful thing that they have. They understand, but they are in fear to talk publicly because it's not same idea as the mainstream, meaning the ustaz. Like talking about I see a lot of the Muslims nowadays, the Malays, they are only thinking about death. They always
The afterlife.
They always, from what I see, they always talk about things to do in order to gain something after they die.
Okay.
But they don't actually worry about the life they are in now.
The present.
The
Yes,
present.
it's like everything they do.
And this is almost the same for all religions.
All
I think
re-
almost
most religion
and
would-
even Buddhists also they talk about how to go to Pure Land after you die, rather than
fine.
focusing on your present moment.
It's okay. You want to do that, it's okay.
Yeah.
No, I'm not saying that. Don't do it. You want to focus on your life after death, go on.
Yeah.
But you don't go and
Impose your belief to others. Yeah.
or whatever on others. You don't say what we are doing in enjoying our life now, making our life heaven now as wrong, or whatever. Who are you? You go on and do whatever you think you will gain in your life after death, in your Jannah.
This is how the religious, so-called organized religious leader and the cult leaders control the mass. They try to manipulate their mind, control their mind by thinking only the same, only the way, only one way, no other way. Only this way is correct. So you have to think like this.
Well, I don't know. As I said, I don't know much about cult. But if this is the behavior of
They
the
are very
religious
cultish.
teachers, it's like all these rules about, these are all moral rules, moral values, like people who don't fast, they go and arrest, I mean, people who are, it's a sin, like khalwat or whatever, who, I mean, it's not like they are forced or, whatever they do inside closed room, it's their business to me. That is for them to answer to God, who are you to go and, raid down, and pecah down their door, break down their door, and you actually parade them to the world and actually humiliate them. This is something I cannot understand this, you are bringing out somebody's so-called bad things, into the public when, that is between them, to answer to God if there, So I don't understand this. Even the Mufti Perlis disagree with this kind of thing, raiding people's home.
He's considered so-called more open-minded.
Well, I mean, there are certain things he's very good, but certain things he's still very traditional.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mixture of both.
Yeah. But at least he's not the worst of all. Yeah. For example, the Mufti of Penang recently said that we should recognize. Wow, that's the first time I heard a Mufti actually said that, in Malaysia, and because of that, he got a lot of attacks. Yeah. So that's why I think. From the conservatives, those idiots who believe that only Sunnah wal Jama'ah should exist in the world. Meaning in the heaven, they think only Sunnah wal Jama'ah will be in heaven. Those Muslims, the Shia, Ahmadiyya, and all that, Ismaili or whatever they call, won't be in heaven. Who are these people? Really, I really don't understand these Muslims that believe they are the one only that will go to heaven. As if they know, they have talked to God.
I think we hope Dr. Mujahid is really listening to this.
Yeah,
I think what we don't want,
and
we don't want
Mujahid
fear.
Also, he's not a dato. Is he a dato?
I'm not sure. I think.
I don't think so.
I don't think so. Yeah.
Doesn't
I
care.
don't
I
know,
don't
we call
care
it
about
dato,
title anyway. But I don't think Mujahid is a title maniac anyway. So no, he's a very humble guy.
Yes, very nice guy.
Yeah, very nice guy. Very amicable.
I hope we can encourage more interfaith dialogue also. As you say, interfaith dialogue can help each other, help the religion inside, to awaken inside, and also to counter how to deal with the cult outside.
Yeah,
So,
the cult. Yes, actually.
Yeah, because if you notice, right, every religion, a lot of them face similar problems.
Yeah.
Like you say that there's some, even within the religion itself, whether it's Buddhism, Christianity, or even in Islam. And that I think that by understanding, having an interfaith dialogue, do you think that this will actually help in terms of different religion to understand each other itself, and you can create that moderation in terms of thinking within?
I think it depends on what kind of interfaith dialogue you are going to have, Interfaith dialogue in Malaysia, I think Malaysia is the best place to have interfaith dialogue. But unluckily, we see most of the interfaith dialogue here, we just talk about very superficial things.
Yeah.
Okay, religion is good. I believe in my God. You believe in God. Your values in religion, we should study, and then we learn from each other. A very superficial kind of thing,
Yeah.
We are not talk about like how to deal with cults together, how to learn from each other, really learn from each other, and we never talk about that. Yeah.
I would say that if we were to actually have an interfaith dialogue, I think rather than focusing on the doctrine, we should actually focus on the history. And because every religion will go through phases of, every religion is being updated every few hundred years. They are being updated, so we can see from the Buddhist history how they change, and then from maybe
evolution,
Islam or Christian, how they change throughout the years and all that. We have a bigger picture. We have a bigger picture because history, you cannot just directly deny it, because it actually happens. Okay, it's actually in the books, in the records and all that. I think that would be easier to. I think that would be more interesting to know as well.
Most interfaith dialogue talk about good things about each other. My idea kind of interfaith dialogue is like we talk about bad things about our own religion. And you talk about all bad things.
Yeah.
Then
Like
we
how you
expose it
overcome,
out.
and
Yeah.
how do you
Overcome
think you
is-
can help me to solve the
Yeah.
problem?
No, for
Yeah.
example,
Yeah.
even in
If there is-
Islam itself, right? Don't talk about talk about intra.
Intra.
Come
Intra,
on, you
yeah,
are persecuting the Ahmadiyya, the Shia, or anyone like, for example, the Quranis, who don't agree that we should rely on hadiths, and stuff. Just rely on the Quran, and also that those people will be persecuted. Don't talk about talk about intra first. I just wish that I hope Mujahid Rawa will actually look into this intra-faith amongst the Shia, the Ahmadiyya, and the so-called the Quranis. These people love their religion. Now, why are you persecuting people who believe in religion in this in Islam? Islam is a big umbrella. The thing is, you are allowed to believe. But not just your version is correct, but we are being imposed, with the one version of Islam, which is what they have been taught in Saudi Arabia, basically. Even Saudi Arabia is moving away from that. They are trying to modernize themselves. But we are now going back to the Zaman Jahiliyyah or maybe pre-Jahiliyyah. I don't know why in Malaysia. So before we can even talk about interfaith,
let's have intrafaith.
let's have intrafaith first.
I think for Buddhism as well, it's the same. We need to have interfaith dialogue between these three traditions, Mahayana, Theravada, and Vajrayana, so that we can unite together and join forces to fight against whatever you call division or cult, whatever. Let's have intra before we have inter, or have both together at the same time. At least, yeah.
But you see, I think you for this belief again, I say we cannot just say either these are correct. Cannot. I don't agree with that. I even if for the atheists, for example, if they want to be an atheist,
we should have space for them.
We should have space. We should allow people to not believe. This is a point. As long there is no harm to others and to property, we shouldn't interfere with people's belief.
Yeah, I think it's like how people define love. You love. I mean, no one's definition is the correct one.
Yeah.
Even people married not because of love, because of money. I say they should have the choice.
Exactly.
Yeah, they should have the choice.
You think all these young girls marrying old men with money is because they are so much in love? I don't think so.
No, but they should have the choice.
Maybe that's their version of love.
Yeah, I mean, fine. Yeah, love
Because
for the
of
money.
love for the money.
Yeah. It's fine as long there is no harm happening. But this is the point that I want to. I would rather the state do not interfere with religious matters. You can assist, but you don't interfere or have rules and punishment towards people who so-called do not believe in the mainstream kind of idea. This is I've always maintained this, that I don't care what your belief is. Don't you come and interfere with my belief. This is the thing, and that's why I make noise, purely because the rules in Malaysia that I will be governed by it. I'm opposed to RUU 355. I don't agree with it. I will make noise about it because it's going to govern me if I don't actually say anything. If they say Siti and whoever who wants to opt out of this stupid law, this stupid thing that they are proposing, I will shut up. I will not say anything. We must be given the choice and option. That's why I think Malays should wake up and realize that whatever they claim to be religious is not. It's human-made. All of it are human-made. So, wake up and don't let yourself being bullied and, being oppressed by the religious authorities.
So is it safe to say that education plays quite an important role when it comes to any religion itself? Like, you have to understand the whole context, not only just in one view, but you have to look at different views.
So now we need to talk to Education Minister. Yeah, I think I agree. Education is quite important, and first and foremost, we need to educate people about understanding their own religion at the same time also. I mean, we are not lack of religious education. I think we lack of spiritual education. Most of the Malaysian, they are very religious, but they are not quite spiritual, Spirituality and religion.
I beg to differ.
Oh, why?
Now, I always feel religious education should be left outside of our mainstream education.
Totally.
Okay. Yeah, exactly. No religious education in school or in colleges or anywhere where the government actually runs. This is my belief. Okay, if you want to send your child to a religious school, that's fine. Nobody's going to stop you. Should stop you. You go ahead.
Private school, private.
Yeah, private. Then that's your business. You can go ahead. I mean, this. I don't believe government should have the business to support any religion. I'm not just Islam, but also Christianity, Buddhism, or anything. It should be left totally to the believers to support their own faith. Because in this manner, if they really love their religion, they will actually work on it and make sure that they have a beautiful mosque, they have a beautiful religious school, a beautiful temple, or beautiful, church. But the money used by the government could be used for much better uses, like the hospitals, helping the poor. There's so many things our government can use with the money instead of giving one bloody billion to one religious department who actually, to be honest, not even the state religious department. This is just a department created by previous and current Prime Minister, just to manage a little affair of not exactly turn to be what it was, what it is now. I don't know whether it's going to be changed. I hope it's going to be abolished, to be honest, because they are really nothing. They have no enforcement powers. They really have nothing, to be honest. I don't know what they are existent for. The religious state authorities are there. They can look after the affairs of the Muslims in their own states. So why do we need JAKIM? Why do we need to even sponsor 1 single cent for JAKIM? The state religious authorities, instead of money given to this state, to this JAKIM, you can give a little bit to the state religious authorities rather than JAKIM, honestly. So I still feel that the state should not interfere with religious affairs, but also, of course, it's not realistic in Malaysia because the way our constitution is and because the way how the country is being set up. But that's fine, I just hope that no more interference, of major interference into our daily lives by the state in matters of religious affairs. Yeah.
Okay, coming back to victims of or some of the cults itself, or you say like people with that has been wronged, especially female. I think just now before the show I speak to you, Siti, that we were talking about there are certain support groups for women that fell victim. Like some of them will be abused, sexually abused, or some of them is being abused in terms of physical abuse. What are the what I call the bodies that they can actually go to? What are the bodies that they can go to?
For example, like the Women's Aid Organization, WAO for short, they actually help abuse women, no matter under what circumstances, whether it's domestic or by abuse by others. So they are very, very good NGO that helps domestic violence women. But also there's Awam, that also has shelter. They have shelters to put temporary accommodation for these victims. But like for the Muslims, let's say they have issues, how to deal with their abused life, for example, they don't know any recourse. There is a Telinisa helpline run by Sisters in Islam. They actually give legal advice to actually women and men, whoever needs help with regards to religious matters and stuff like that. So there are many NGOs out there that actually will actually provide help. But actually, to be honest, the government also do, I think, if I'm not mistaken, they do have helpline or something. But I'm not very sure about that, but you can check So yes, I do hope these abused people, for example, my case, she is actually a victim of domestic violence, despite whatever the rumors that goes around, that because she's a murtad, that's why she came to me. It's not a religious issue at all. It is about her mother being abusive to her. And not just to her, actually, her mother, this is allegedly from her, coming from her. And also from the mother's own families as well, been saying that, she's not an angel herself. So, this girl came to me because purely of domestic violence. It's not because of any religious thing. So, I referred her to WAO. So WAO has been helping her. And they know all the mechanism in order to help a victim. So this is my advice. With the wealth of information that we have now on the internet, just Google, how to help women. You can find all kinds of things. Yeah.
So there's WAO, there's Awam, and what was the other one again?
Sisters in Islam, Telinisa is called.
Telinisa.
Yes.
So if for those who wants to come out, we do encourage them to actually contact these people. You can just search on Google.
Don't contact Siti Kassim, please. Because honestly, I have been receiving a lot of messages asking for help. I'm not an NGO or anything really, and I feel bad for not responding, but I can't respond to all of the.
Yeah, you're just only one person.
Exactly.
You can multiply yourself. I think
to be honest, I was reluctant to even give a hand to Anis. Because there's so many people coming to me asking for help. But when I read her, I think she contacted me once or twice. I read, and I look. There's a genuineness in the message, So of course, I wrote back and I asked a few questions, and then that's how I realized that she really needs help. That's why I help her. But I can't be responding. I got so many. I can't help everybody. Please tell them. Please help yourself. I can't. Don't rely on me to help you.
Well, technically, you're already helping by sharing so many information.
Okay, that's good.
True.
Yes, I can do
So
that.
I think,
yes.
that's at least on our part. That's what we can help, and that's the whole reason why we are actually producing this show.
Okay.
Yeah, it's actually to help people to be a little bit more aware in terms of
their
like
rights.
you said, their rights. In terms of their knowledge, in terms when it comes to freedom of religion, or even free from religion.
Free from the harm by the religion.
Free from the harm from
Yes.
the especially when it comes to cults. Not in just cults, but in social aspect as well.
Yes.
Yeah. So the information that we're trying to share here is actually to help them to come out. And I think, correct me if I'm wrong, we want them to speak up. If there's anything
Stand
wrong,
up and speak up.
I mean, like earlier in the show, Siti did say that don't be fearful. Stand up and speak up. If you think it's wrong, go to the police. That's the first step. Go to the police. Or if you feel that you are being abused yourself, there are so many areas that you can reach out to.
Ask for help.
Siti is one of them, but she said at the moment her plate is full.
Don't get in touch with me.
So there are a lot of organizations out there in Malaysia that they want to reach out to people, and I believe sometimes they even find it frustrating because people don't want to reach out to them.
Yes, I think fear is our number one enemy. I keep saying this to, in fact, with my orang asli friends, when I go, I always use this. Fear is our number one enemy. If you throw away that fear and assert that I have the right, I will speak up for myself. I will stand up. I will no longer be pressed and stampled on by anyone. I will take charge of my own life. Okay, so do it. Do not be afraid. Once you throw away that fear, everything becomes easy. Of course, don't think that, I will throw away that fear, I go and kill someone, No, it's not like that. Meaning that feeling you are under control by people, feeling that you are, if you do something, this person will abuse you, this person will put you down, this person will actually do anything towards you. For example, for this cult behavior, like always a very domineering, strong person that control the situation, right? And so this, do not be afraid, because these people gain the strength from your fears.
Yeah.
By you not being fearful of them, they will lose it. They won't have the power anymore.
But usually they use divine intervention. They will say that
Right.
It is given to me my divine right to control you.
It's God's will or whatever.
God's will.
And I think that some of the things that are happening currently in some of the Buddhist group, where the leader actually sexually abuse the female students and all that. What we do see, there's a trend that when there's a group of victims come together, usually the leaders have to take you seriously. They have to move away. But if only one person says something and you are not saying it publicly, you just through an email to that person, they'll just try to sweep it under the carpet. Okay, or maybe you tell the administrating group, they'll try to meet you, but sweep it off. But then when a group come together and then you actually make it public, then they have to face it.
That's why we want to start a movement or we call network, we call ICANN Integral Cult Awareness Network. Where like-minded people like counselors, the lawyers, and psychologists can come together and find out a way to help the victims together. Let's work together and see how we can solve the issue together.
There you go. There's this new group called ICANN. Which we will be sharing, I think, in our next show.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, and we will share with you more information. And of course, this show, is also organized in conjunction with one of the event that will be going on next month, which is
this month.
This month, I keep forgetting that it will be July. The Malaysia Dharma Stream Forum 2018, which will be held on the 22nd of July at the Nexus Connection Conference and Event Center. So this will be a forum where they discuss on cult issues and also in issues within the Buddhism.
The future of Buddhism.
Future of Buddhism.
So,
okay, before we end the show,
it's in Mandarin. It's in Mandarin, If not, you can come.
Too bad.
So before we end the show, is there any message that you want to share out with the listeners out there? Let's start with Kong first.
Okay, I would say that the cultish relationship or the cultish experience happens in many situations, not just in religion, not in cult groups, but in family. Sometimes in a company that you work with. Sometimes the boss is someone who's very cultish. They will abuse you. They'll make you sacrifice a lot of your time and energy and all that. So sometimes even one-on-one relationship, maybe with the father, with the parents, as Siti Kassim have said, or maybe with the spouse, and especially with the spouse. Sometimes we see it among our friends as well. I cannot because I don't see any physical bruise or anything like that, but we do know there's a lot of verbal abuse going on. It's crazy, but we cannot do anything about that unless that person wants to be helped. If I see physical thing, then maybe we could do something, but there's no physical things that I can discern. We just know that she's very afraid. She's not malnourished. Okay, she's still the wife, but every time she mentioned the husband or we mention the husband, she will turn to someone else, someone who's very fear. The voice trembles and all that. I would consider that cult experience as well. So if you're in those kind of things, I would say that maybe you should actually seek some help from anyone. Don't just talk to your friends. Talk to professionals. Yeah.
Okay. Sherab?
I think the lesson I learned today from a cult issue is that we should be fearless, as Siti say, be fearless. And fear you break down fear, FEAR, is false emotions appearing real, So it's an illusion actually, the illusion imposed by cult leaders or religious figure upon you. So break free from that and be fearless. And the opposite of fear is love. You should give yourself more love and receive love from others. Yeah, that's the ultimate solution for this issue. Yeah.
Siti?
Well, Sherab has stolen my line, which is that don't be fearful of anything. Well, obviously, be afraid of ghosts, but no. On a serious note, to be honest, I think I'm here to speak about how to deal if you're a victim of cult. So if you are a victim of cult, and cult can come in many forms, as I learned today, that even husband and wife can be in a cultist situation. So if you are a victim of cult, meaning that you are actually under control by someone and so fearful of that person, please remember that there are many out there who are willing to help you. And don't feel that you are all alone. Reach out to your closest friends, to your family members. If you feel that you are unable to do alone. But if you feel that you can do alone, there are many, many places that you can reach out to, like WAO, Awam, Sisters in Islam. In fact, reach out to just any NGO. They will refer you to the correct one, or they will pass on. Speak to your neighbor. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid that this person who's controlling you will forever be tracking you. No, we have rules, law. What? Law. We have
Rules of law.
Rules of laws. Yeah, we have that. And as what my client Anis was saying, that my mother will not stop. This is what she said. She is very vindictive. She will keep on chasing me. And I said to her, your mother is not the rule of law. Your mother is not God. I said, so, we will do what is necessary and follow the rule of law. You are an adult. I said, you can lead your own life. So no one can force you, I said. So this is what I say. Remember, we have rules and laws in this country. We will, use it to your advantage. Reach out, number one. Reach out, yes.
So there you go, the three very important message that we heard just now. And I'd like to thank again our guests today. We have Siti Kassim, I'd like to thank Sherab Wong and Kong. And this is Junsen on dealing with difficult issues right here on DurianASEAN.
Okay.
Yeah, wow.
Thanks.